You're tuned in to the TWU Local 513 podcast. The latest news, updates, and conversations that matter to our members.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TWU Local 513 podcast. I'm Brian Parker, and joining me today is President Greg Cozy. Welcome back, Greg.
Hello, Brian. How are you today?
I'm really good.
Good,
I'm
bro.
really good. It's good to sit in a chair and kind of catch our breath a little bit. It's kind of been a whirlwind
Yes, indeed.
for us lately. I know that we're in the cycle of membership meetings. We had membership meetings yesterday, which was Wednesday, and then we'll finish up today, which is Thursday. Can't guarantee that this podcast will go out today on Thursday. It usually takes a couple of days to kind of do a little bit of the behind the scenes production. But anyway, so it is Thursday of the membership meetings. And when I said whirlwind, we've had a lot going on. Kind of give us a recap, and then we'll dig into each individual thing of what's been going on lately.
Well, yeah. So personally, the first week of September, I was at the American Airlines and the union benefits meeting where we discussed the upcoming enrollment process, some of the union-sponsored benefits, the costs, and what those programs will look like for 2026. So that was a 2 or 3 day meeting, and then obviously it led into the IEC and B for the international. I had to attend those meetings. And then after that, obviously the 27th TWU International Convention. So been a very busy September, but it's been very valuable, very worthwhile.
Right. I know that the other VP, Brian Oyer, and myself started the month with the GRB.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't in Vegas as long as you were because you had to be out there for a longer period of time to help set up the convention. But let's move into the convention, talk a little bit about what the convention is and how it all works and what the intent is.
Yeah, so it's a requirement of the International Constitution from the Transport Workers Union. And it's a multi-layered event, but primarily it's held to conduct the business of the international. Obviously, the delegates are voted on from each local, and there are roughly 110 locals that constitute the Transport Workers Union, and so delegates are based on the number of members each local has. But again, we are there to do the business of the international. And so what that looks like is we discussed the contractual gains that have taken place within the last 4 years or since the last convention in all three areas. You have the rail and transit and then air divisions.
Right.
And so it's again, it's an opportunity for the delegates and some guests and delegate alternates to see what's going on at the international level. The fact that there's been a tremendous amount of contractual fights, not just at American Airlines, with our contract extensions, but at Southwest Airlines, with JetBlue Airlines, Local 100, which is the transit workers in New York City. They've, contract gains in the past 4 years. Local 234, which is the Philadelphia bus drivers. They had a contract that was settled within the last 4 years. In fact, they're back up for negotiations, another tough negotiations out of 234. But again, the convention is when we take care of the business of the international. This year, the convention, as every year, the officers of the international are voted on.
Right.
And President Samuelson and the United Unstoppable slate went unopposed, which is the second time. It's historic. But I think it speaks to the fact that President Samuelson has a vision for the international, and that the work of the international is being done correctly and properly. And I think it speaks to the notion that people are satisfied with the work that they're doing.
Right. So they have a slogan, and I think they stole that. It's the Fight Back Union. So I've always been kind of a Fight Back member, and so I kind of think they might have stole that from me, just to be honest.
I'll ask them if they copyrighted it.
Yeah,
Did you copyright that, bro?
We'll say I did. We'll just ask for some repayment, and and see how far I get. But
yeah, right.
yeah, it was a great convention.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of high energy and things like that. Obviously a lot of work, and you were instrumental in that. I know out of this local, Bill Clark was out there early, helping with a lot of the things behind the scenes. So you guys were very instrumental, and we took the board of 11 plus 4 delegates, and correct my math, I think there was 514 delegates in totality, and then
Yes.
I don't remember the number of alternates.
Yeah, it was 514 delegates, 58 alternates, and then various guests.
A lot of guests.
A lot of guests.
That was good to see. A lot of guests.
A lot of people had an opportunity to kind of see the workings of the international.
Right. I think that some of our delegates and guests that did attend were kind of blown away, not necessarily by, the style of it, because, it's a nice convention. They do a great job, but the content, about what it's really all about is, the president's report we've shown all day yesterday at the membership meetings. We're going to show again today at the membership meetings. And that's nearly a 20-minute video.
Right.
So I know that you said from the floor, hey, it's a long video, and I apologize for the length, but I know that like you and me, we're all proud that it is a long video, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be a good thing.
Yeah, if it wasn't a long video, then we wouldn't have that many successes as an organization. So yeah, I think some of the takeaways obviously was the energy in the room,
right?
The spirit of cooperation, the unity. It's always good to be in the company of other locals, so that you can talk about what the challenges are in the local, or some of the successes, whatever it may be.
Right.
But sometimes I think we get a little bit myopic in our thinking that we're the only local around.
Right.
And so it's good to be in the presence of transit, for example. Local 100 in New York City represents over 40,000 members.
Yes.
Transit in Miami, local 291, they have about 3,000 members. So it's and we talk about it with our new hires all the time.
Right.
We even represent the firefighters at NASA. The TWU's footprint is very vast, and I think the convention gives an opportunity to illustrate that vastness. So yeah, that's, like I said, it was on a lot of different levels, a lot of different layers. The convention is a great opportunity to fellowship, learn about the organization, and see what the changes and the gains have been, with other locals and even with us. I think some of the work that we've done within the 9 fleet locals at American Airlines, I think the work that we've done should be applauded.
Absolutely.
Getting that contract extension at some somewhat perilous times with the airline industry, I think that was quite an achievement, and it was highlighted at the convention.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the extension wasn't just a gimme from American. There was a reason why the extension happened, is because they weren't ready for another fight.
No. And our members need to know that we were very aggressive in our approach to prepare for the contract negotiations.
Right.
And I think the company was very aware of that. So you're right. I don't think they wanted to have another protracted battle.
Right. And I will say that I know the other work groups have been in communication with us, and our members need to know. And American, I believe, already knows that we're very well prepared to go into the next round of negotiations. And hopefully that, we get in and get out fairly quickly. It shouldn't take years upon years to get a deal done. And nobody wants to fight. We want to sit down at the table and negotiate fairly and, get as many gains as we can for our members, mindful of the organization, and mindful of the company. But at the end of the day, we want to be taken care of as we should be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, nobody wants to fight, but we're certainly prepared to fight.
No doubt.
You hit on something. I did attend a coalition meeting with the other union groups on property at American Airlines, and it was the first time that the Pilots Association, the flight attendants, CWA, TWU, representatives from the dispatchers. It was 6 union groups. We had a meeting forming a coalition, and subsequently we sat in unison at the leadership meeting at headquarters. And so that was the first time I think Americans ever seen all of the union groups on property united. And we have committed to remain united and continue to have those substantive conversations about what's going on at American Airlines. And I will tell you that American Airlines is taking notice.
As they should.
As they should.
As they should.
Yeah.
So a little bit more about the convention. I know that we had a lot of speakers. There was a few that were very impactful. I know that you and I actually sat next to each other at the convention, ironically, and you saw me dabbing my eyes there one time, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Talk about that speaker. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah. So they had a wonderful array of speakers for the convention this year. Tony Baker, who's the president of the Major League Baseball Players Association, was a speaker. Liz Schuler, who's the national president of the AFL-CIO. Just some fantastic union leaders who represent, virtually millions of people across the country. But the most impactful speaker was Lieutenant Melissa Stockwell,
Yes, sir.
And she was the first female soldier to be injured in Operation Iraqi during the war. And her story was just, it was a tremendous story of perseverance, of strength, of finding purpose. And it went beyond just, the normal messages about unionism and those things, contractual issues and whatever.
Right.
It was more personal, and it was more heartfelt. Her story was it was a phenomenal story, and I think it resonated with everybody in that room.
Absolutely.
It was,
absolutely.
It makes you kind of sit back and assess, the things that you consider to be hard or things that you consider to be challenges, and you realize that they're minuscule in the grand scheme of things. And so not only are they minuscule, but it makes you take a step back and say, okay, even if it is a big problem, a big challenge, a big issue, how do I respond to it? Am I man enough or woman enough to respond to it in a manner that is going to be dignified and respectful? So it was a very impactful, powerful conversation with the whole room.
Let's cut to it. If you're a 24-year-old young female in the desert halfway around the world and you're laying there and you're missing a leg, tough. And the way she took that, it was probably her worst day of her life, and she made it her best day.
Yes.
Because for what she did from that point, and her mindset was just, it's phenomenal. She's a mother of, a couple of kids, she's successful. married and very happy, and you would never know that she's dealt with such tragedy unless you look and notice that she's got a prosthetic leg.
Yes.
Her story was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I mean, it doesn't translate to union work, but it does. It boils down to, you know, what's your mindset?
Yep.
How are you going to tackle life?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very impactful. And again, you know, like you said, the governors and politicians, it wasn't partisan. You know, it didn't matter if you were a Democrat, Republican. I mean, they all spoke, and they spoke on behalf of working men and women.
Yes. So that's one of the interesting things in the past, I'd say 8 or 9 years, the direction that the TWU has really taken
Mm-hmm.
is that, years ago, um, we were accused, the TWU was accused of being leaning more towards Democratic politicians, and that kind of, venue.
Right.
Under Samuelson's direction, though, we've taken a different stance, and that is we will, do our grassroots efforts to support any politician who supports working men and women. And it doesn't matter, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, independents. It doesn't matter, where they're located in the United States. If you back people who, want good contracts, who want good working conditions, who want safer work environments, who want the things that the TWU endorses, then that's who we're going to support.
Right.
And, it was really interesting that the politicians that did speak at the convention, they were Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that, that the organization is, leaning towards Republicans. Again, it goes back to the concept that if you support us, then we will support you.
Right.
And so that's a departure from years past.
And that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
you vote for who you vote for, but, are you going to support me in what matters to me and my family?
absolutely.
So.
Yeah.
So, before we move off the convention, any more points you want to make about that?
No, again, I just think that again the international convention provided an overview of the gains and successes that the TWU has made over the past 4 years. I think it's emblematic of the leadership that's at the top of the TWU, and I think it goes down to the locals. And so I think overall, I think the organization itself is probably at its strongest level, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
Well, you're a big part of it. We're very proud to have you as that. I know we've got something a little bit different today. We're going to bring in a couple of speakers. So,
Yeah, everybody's tired of seeing my ugly mug.
well,
so,
before I run your ass off,
Right.
do you have any more, any parting words, any housekeeping?
So we do have a couple of things coming up, which will kind of segue into our guests.
Okay.
So again, we want to remind our members about the picnic. Our annual Family Day picnic is October the 18th, 11 o'clock at Circle R Ranch, located in Flower Mound. Our members and retirees, which is a big part of our picnic,
Right, absolutely.
can pick up the tickets during regular business hours here at the hall up until October the 13th. Again, we really enjoy having events. Our next union event will be mid-December. We'll have our Christmas holiday event. So we're looking forward to planning that and entertaining the children and grandchildren of our members. But lastly, just want to kind of thank our members.
Absolutely.
I always say that we have the best membership in the system. And I think some of the numbers that we've gotten in the operation over this very challenging summer indicate the hard work and dedication that our members have. Every time I go to headquarters, I have a meeting with somebody. They're very surprised at the notion that our guys are so dedicated to the work. And I tell them all the time, the only thing our guys want to do is be left alone. Let us work, let us perform, give us the tools to work, provide us a safe environment, and then let us do our jobs. And the more that you guys do that, the better the numbers will be. But yeah, just want to thank our members for the dedicated efforts, the professionalism that they display all the time.
Absolutely. To your point, at our past Tuesday meeting, if you remember, I made the comment that the corporation wants to nickel and dime headcount and equipment. And if they would just invest properly and not try to cut everything down to the bone, and do realize that American Airlines is DFW. I mean, I'm not disparaging any other station. American flies all around the world. Every piece of the puzzle is important, but that's the heartbeat of American Airlines. Absolutely. Is DFW.
Yep.
And our members are what makes that heartbeat.
Yep. Absolutely. So. Could not agree more.
Okay, Greg.
That's it for me.
Good sitting here talking to you. We'll catch up here in a little while. So we will take a break. We'll cut the video and we'll do a little transition and get our next speaker in here.
Perfect, brother. Thank you very much.
All right, you bet. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. I have another guest here with me. The second guest is recording secretary John Borges. John, you've been recording secretary for a long time.
Yeah, by the end of this term, it'll be 15 years. Yeah, it's been really a nice ride for me. I'm very happy that the members decided to put me in this position. It's been a learning curve along the way, and it's been my pleasure serving the members. And thank you for having me this morning, Brian. We've been working together for a while, so I finally made the big time.
Well, I'm trying to groom you to take over the host. No. There's a method to my madness here. But
no, I'm good right where I am.
So you said 15 years at the end of this term, and then you'll be elected by acclamation in November. So
yeah,
congrats to another term.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Both unopposed. So yeah, we must be doing something right?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, hopefully the members do appreciate it. Everybody, and I think you would agree, everybody on our board puts in the work.
No doubt. We definitely put in the hours, and when the phone rings, I can tell you that the majority of our guys will answer that call, no matter what time or what day it is.
Right. Enough about us. That's
right.
Not that we're here to talk about something else. The reason I wanted you here very specifically is because, first of all, you, I, the whole board, we represent our members, from their birth with the union and with the company when they hire in day one, from the beginning. Our stewards are there with them through the interview process. We have new hires over here to the hall, doing an orientation with them. And then after they've worked here many, many years, they want to step away from the company, and you help them there as well. So I want to talk a little bit about what you do with helping our retirees, and then we'll segue into another guest here in a minute that helps also, and you guys kind of work hand in hand in that. But talk a little bit about potentially how many you've helped, who you've helped, kind of, how the process works, and why it's so important for somebody to come and see you before they step away from American Airlines and retire.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a process, and it's something that we all look forward to. We talk about it our entire career, retirement. We all look forward to that day. We can't work forever, obviously, and whether they come and talk or speak with me, or just get informed by doing their own homework in JetNet. It's something that I encourage everybody to do. The information is there on JetNet. I've just gotten familiar over the years. I've probably helped, a couple of hundred of our members through the process. And it is a process. It is a process because you have to be prepared for what's coming. Whether you talk to your spouse about, your specific date that you want to retire, or coworkers to get more informed, get more information, but ultimately you should come and speak with me or one of us here in this building to talk about the process that you have to take. The pension, running the estimate on the Fidelity page, that would be a good start. But planning at least 4 to 6 months prior to your exit date is key, because you have things like the retirement healthcare reimbursement account that you have to submit a form electronically in JetNet, so you can use your sick balance
Right.
for your health care after retirement, Medicare and stuff like that. That is a big help for our members using those dollars. Also, if you're Medicare age, you're 65 and older, when you stop working, there's a form that you have to fill out, the Medicare Part B form, that the company has to have a benefit service center representative sign it and return it back to you. That's important, because when you stop working, you need to go to Medicare Part B.
Right. I think you're a little bit humble, and I appreciate that.
Well,
Your office is next to mine, and you made a couple of comments. You know, you think it's important that they come and see you or somebody in the building. They don't need to come see me or anybody else in this building. They need to come see John Borges. So you do a phenomenal job, and when I said humble as well, it's more than 200. I've been here 6 years sitting here. You've been here 15. It's probably more closer to 2,000 than it is
Well,
200.
yeah, I mean, since we had the first voluntary early out program in 2020, that's when I really started the process,
Right.
because we have mass exodus at that point. We had quite a few of our members and coworkers retire. A lot of them that we worked with along the years. So, it felt good helping those members and those coworkers, because we're friends, and we want to make sure they go out in the right way and they don't miss any steps. Yeah, it's important to be informed before you make that decision, mentally and financially. A lot of folks want to leave, but if they're not financially ready, if your mortgage is not paid off, uh, I mean, only you can determine how much money you're going to need to retire. That's you and your financial officer, or you and your spouse should talk about that. But ultimately, you have to know how much money you're going to need after retirement. And so we have those discussions. Some people are openly speak to me about what their needs are and what their plans are after retirement. So I kind of assist them. Ultimately, it's their decision on when they retire. But I give them my advice.
Your advice to me was I'd have to work till I'm 112 years old before I could financially retire. So
You have to
yeah.
buy less shoes. Don't spend so much on shoes.
Oh, it's the shoes. Okay. Well, I don't have that many shoes, but maybe I'll start wearing them a little bit longer before I buy some more. So aside from let's back up, and then I do want to get into some of the benefits and an event we've got, or actually a couple of events we got for our retirees coming up. But one thing is, aside from retirement, talk about how important it is to have a plan prior to retirement, and as far as beneficiaries
Right.
and things like that.
Yeah. So the retirement process, like I said, the pension estimate is done in the Fidelity webpage, netbenefits.com. Once you have a date in mind, no matter what month, what year, the process has to begin before the 15th of the month. We have to get the process started in the Fidelity page before the 15th, and I encourage members to leave at the end of the month so we can start the pension process, or the pension commencement date would be on the first of the following month. American does not pay half-month pensions. It
Right.
starts on the first of the month. And usually there's a 30-day process, so they would not see a payment until the second month of retirement, but they would be for 2 months after that. Once they deposit the initial payment for the first month, which will be 2 months, then every month on the first of the month, there will be a check deposit in their account. But just making the decision. If you have a spouse, you have to talk about whether you're going to share with your spouse or not. I mean, that's a decision that you both have to make, you and
Right.
your spouse. Um, so it's nerve wracking at times for members because it's difficult to make a decision. Do I share? And neither one of them may ever see the money that they put aside. So
Right.
it's a very hard decision to make. Um, but ultimately they do. Ultimately they do. They find the way to do it. So the pension process is good. The other benefits that come along with it, the travel changes, we should all be familiar with that. The D1, that stays in place. The D2, that goes away. We become D2Rs.
Right.
The D3 travel, that gets chopped down to 50%, where currently we have 8 one-ways. I'm sorry, 16 one-ways, 8 round trips. That gets that knocked down to 4 round trips and 8 one-ways.
Right.
So there's a little bit of change there. The retiree ID, the company no longer takes a company picture. You have to do it online. You take a selfie and you upload that in
Really?
JetNet. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah. That's
Wow.
and it's pretty simple, but they actually mail you the retiree ID.
Hmm.
So being mentally ready is a big step to this. It really is. And I encourage everyone to get informed at least. I mean, you should have an idea in mind of when you want to go, but at least 6 months in advance to get ready.
Somebody wants to come a year or two out. That's not too early, though, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, all information is good. You
Right.
know, you get the information. This way, you start setting the stage for the exact date that you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you know, we all have a date. It's just being mentally prepared. And a lot of our members, you know, they come back and talk to me after because I visited with them, you know, a few times prior to them
Right.
leaving, and they don't miss the airport. They don't miss the work that they do. They miss their coworkers. That's ultimately what the, you know. We don't go to work. We go to work to socialize. We have a social life at work.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's the same view I had when I was in school.
Yeah, yeah.
I viewed it more of a social event, and I paid for it in my later years. But anyway, it is, to your point, the hardest part, I think, sometimes is just stepping away from what you know. You know,
Yeah.
you're in a groove. You got all your friends there. You know, it's hard to step away. It's hard to make that decision.
It is. It's a scary decision, but ultimately we have to do it because we can't work forever, right? I mean, we want to.
Well, you said I had to work forever, so
Well, stop buying shoes.
okay, it's the shoes. I got a
Um,
plan now, John.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you want some quality life to enjoy your family, your grandkids, and stuff.
Right.
I know, I do. You know, this will most likely and almost 100% be my last run. I'll be pretty senior by then, so I'm looking forward to my second granddaughter is coming in next month, so I look forward to spending time with my grandkids.
Yeah, congratulations. And I
Thank you.
know your grandson, he hung the moon.
Yeah,
So good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But
So,
yeah, so we're having a retiree seminar next Thursday. Looking forward to some members coming to visit and get some information. Whether they use it or not, it's totally up to them. But it's good. It's good to have that information, so you start thinking about it, or
yeah,
or talking about it with your spouse.
right. So you've done this before, the retiree seminar, and this is for anybody that is, planning to go, which I think everybody on the ramp is planning to go.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you've got another 10 plus years, laws change, things change. There's really no need to get that involved. But within, 12 to 24 months, you need to really start thinking about what your date would be, how your finances look, and, things like that. Would your spouse, the age of your spouse has a lot to do with it.
absolutely, absolutely.
Does your spouse have insurance? There's a lot of things that can play into that. If you've divorced, you need to make sure you have your affairs in order with divorce decrees and things. So
Every time
I've been
you
paying attention, John.
Yeah, yeah. So that is one of the things. If you've been divorced, no matter how many times while employed with American, you're going to need the divorce decree or a copy
Right.
of the divorce decree. They don't actually get to keep it. We just upload it into the program. You get all the documents are not kept here. All the documents go back with the members. So yeah. Some of our members, they don't keep records very well, so they have to reach out to the county, get their divorce decree, so we can
Yeah.
upload them, because American just basically wants to make sure that you didn't share your pension with your ex,
Right.
no matter how many times that ex happened.
Yeah. Because if
Um,
you don't have those affairs in order,
yeah,
your pension could go to your ex.
absolutely.
So it's
Um,
important.
Yeah, and so along with that, I have two assistants now. Your next guest, Miss Leslie Green, she's been helping our members quite a bit with the Medicare products and folks who are not quite ready for Medicare. Um, she will be present at the seminar, and also another young lady, Miss Christy Tomlinson. She's with Fidelity,
Hmm.
and so a lot of our members will have questions for both of them. Hopefully, ask a lot of questions, so this way they can get ready for Medicare and ready financially if they want assistance with Fidelity.
Right. And the retirement seminars, October the 2nd,
October the 2nd,
the
10,
times,
10 and 2 p.m.
10 a.m. and 2
2 p.m.
p.m. Do you need anybody to reach out ahead of time to let you know they're going to be here?
No, we'll be set up. I mean, our hall is pretty large to accommodate whatever members we
Okay.
have. Whether it's 20 or 120, we can accommodate. So I'll be ready, and so will my guests, and hopefully they bring some good questions so we can assist them. That's all. That's our ultimate goal here. Our job is to assist our members.
Right. And I know that Greg, when he was in here earlier, we were talking about the picnic. We have a lot of retirees that attend the picnic. We have retirees that still attend union meetings. And there's another special event that you do on occasion for the retirees. Talk about that and
Yeah.
how much fun that is.
Oh yeah, the retiree breakfast. Yeah, that is a lot of fun because we get to see some of the senior folks.
Right.
And they always have some good stories. I mean, that's what the retiree breakfast is all about. It's an avenue for them to just get together and tell some good stories about the old days. And now we have some retirees that retired within the last year or two that are attending the retiree breakfast. So the generation is changing, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it because uh, they get to share some really good stories.
And you know what's really crazy, and it's good crazy,
Yeah,
is the hall is packed.
yeah,
It's heavily, attended.
yeah. There's a little bit of work that goes into that, but
No, there's a lot of work.
but
Again,
everybody's
you're being humble.
But
You work your ass off to
no,
put
but
this
they
on.
enjoy it. They enjoy it,
Yeah,
and I do too. I do too.
Yeah, and yeah, we all do. It's
Yeah.
great. There's members that are retired almost as long as I've been working here, and I've been here 37 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We
It's
have
crazy.
our most senior one that in retirement time, he had retired, Mr. I'm having a hard time remember his last name now. First name was John. I can't think of his last name right now, but
I spoke to him when we did I did a
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
And I spoke to him,
Yes.
and I'm horrible with names.
He
I can
had-
see him as if he was sitting here.
yeah, I can't
He
remember
lives
his
here in
name.
Grapevine.
He lives here in Grapevine.
Yes.
He had been retired since 1995, I believe. It was either 1995 or 92. And so he had been collecting his pension longer than he actually worked. But we
Mhm.
have a lot of members that retired early 2000s. They're all, getting into their 80s now. So
Yeah.
they're starting to feel their age.
Yeah. It's fun to see a lot of the guys, that when I hired in, I worked with the crew chiefs that I had, and people. It's a very special event, and I appreciate you guys doing that. I know that you, Bill Clark, a lot of the guys put, Mark Scroggins, put a lot of effort into getting that together.
Well,
So,
we'll get an apron on you sooner or later.
well, as long as you can get some shoe covers, I don't want to mess up my shoes, John.
All right.
Well, anyway, before we go, is there anything else you need to throw in there before we get Leslie in here?
No, I think, just if our members make the time, come in here, call me. I'll give you whatever information I got, and then you make the decision when to go. I mean,
Right.
being informed is really the key. Being informed and getting all the information to make so that you can make the right decision on when to go.
Right. Well, I appreciate the time.
My
This may be
pleasure.
the first, but it's not going to be the last.
I hope not. Thanks for having me, Brian.
All right, you bet.
Go ahead.
So we'll take another break, and then we will get Miss Leslie Green in here, and we'll talk a little bit about what she has to offer for our members. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for my third guest. Last but not least, Leslie Green.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, this is fun. This is
Yes.
fun. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you are a Medicare advocate.
I am.
Let's talk about that. What is that? And,
Okay.
what would our members expect if they come and visit with you?
Awesome question. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for having me again. And thank you for trusting me in this role as a Medicare advocate with your members. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with the members. I've been with you guys for about 3 years now. I am actually the owner of Lavert Financial Services, and we specialize in Medicare and health insurance, life insurance, and retirement. We cover about 26 states, and actually some of the members are in those 26 states. So I've been in this industry for about a little over 5 years, and I really enjoy what I do. So it's been amazing. So here I am a Medicare advocate, but I'm also a financial strategist. I'm not sure if you knew that. Mostly though, when I meet with members, the first thing I talk about and the most important thing I talk about is their Medicare, because there are a lot of members that are ready to retire. And the thing that they're concerned about is their health insurance, their
Right.
Medicare.
Right.
First and foremost, if they're Medicare age, they're concerned about the penalties, the timeline, the time frame, making sure that there's no gap in coverage. And then also, if they are not Medicare age, they're worried about the health insurance, or they're worried about their spouse. They're worried about their family. So I can't retire because they won't have health insurance. So my first job is to, number one, make sure if they're Medicare age that they have what they need, that they're in the right time frame of that, and then also to pivot if they need health insurance for their family. So that's first and foremost.
Right. So I've noticed, I pay attention. I'm over here, and I see you over here a lot. And I've seen you repetitively meet with, sometimes it's the same person on numerous occasions.
Yes.
So I will say this on behalf of the organization: you don't dial it in. You put in the work.
I do.
You're here
Yes.
early. You'll stay late. I know sometimes we've stayed late, so you could be here with our members. And it's all
Mhm.
important because, we work, around the clock ourselves a lot of the times. So I want to thank you for that, for the effort and the work you put in to help our members.
Thank you.
So if
Yes.
I were a member today walking in the door,
Mhm.
right, and I've spoke with John, I've made a decision, I want to step away.
Mhm.
Talk to me. How would we start out? What would the conversation be? And just as if I'm walking in the door and talking to you today.
That's a great question. So, first and foremost, after they've talked to John, usually you talk to John about your pension.
Right.
Then you come to me and I find out what your retirement timeline is.
Right.
Because it's very important in regards to when we start your Medicare. Because normally the conversation, again, is first and foremost around your Medicare and that timeline. So then I want to find out about your retirement timeline. Then what your health looks like, because that also is going to dictate, what plan you need, the costs, what your finances are going to look like. We talk about your doctors and your prescriptions and what that looks like also.
Wow.
And then we also talk about your 401k, because normally once you've talked to John about your pension and sometimes Social Security, then there's that 401k. And so that's the part of me that kind of pivots from just the Medicare and the health insurance over to being a financial strategist. Because a lot of people they take care. Once I get done with the health part, then they're like, well, what am I going to do? What do I do with my 401k? Like what's going to happen there? And so what I do is give them best options, some strategies, and some options as to what they can do so that they will not leave their money unmanaged. Because the thing about it is, you guys work so hard. I recognize that most of you guys have worked many, many years here. And you've worked very hard. And so when you move into retirement, there should be a sense of ease, a sense of clarity, and just to being able to just
Right.
just to breathe, because you deserve that, and so that's part of my job. So again, once I've done with the Medicare and the health part, I give you strategies and options on what you can do for your 401k. Because the thing about it is, with any of this, there's no one size fits all.
Correct.
And so from the person I meet at a 9:00 meeting versus the person I meet at 11:00 meeting, between their health and then their retirement goals, that could be anything.
And the age of their spouse.
The age of their spouse,
what
their
type
families.
of
Yes, some people have young children. Some
Right.
people have children that have graduated from college. There are others that have a spouse and they want to go and travel. Some they want to move to other states. So there's all kinds of things. So and people think that maybe I just need just this one thing because I've been at this one place and this one thing, having this one
Right.
thing. That's it. But no, my job is to show you all of the options, present all the options, because you do have a right to choose, and then help you to know, kind of navigate you in the direction that you need to go in. And that's with the Medicare, that's with the health insurance, and that's also with your 401k. All of those pieces go
Right.
together. And sometimes people think, well, it's just Medicare. Oh, she's just a Medicare advocate. No, I'm the Medicare advocate. I'm the health insurance advocate. And I'm also helping you with your 401k strategies.
So is it fair to say that it's more of a custom product, a la carte? Certain things
Yes.
are appropriate for certain people, maybe not so for others?
That's correct. Yes. And
Okay.
specifically with Medicare. So I know most of the time I usually have my Medicare thing
We
written
clean
here.
the board.
I know.
We clean the board for the podcast.
That's okay. And I left it there it was there for a few months, and I thought, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, they're going to think, what in the world? But it really helps, because I've heard people that when I'm not here, they see it and they come back and say, but we saw what you wrote on the board. Can you give us a little bit more information? So it works. It works.
Absolutely, it works. And, never once have we had a complaint about any one of our members that you've helped.
Oh, that's
And that's good,
amazing. That's
because
amazing.
retirement is stressful.
It is.
It's supposed to be, to your point, it's supposed to be to where you take that deep breath. But until you're transitioned into it, it's very stressful.
Yes, I agree. So I always tell my clients and the members here that I feel that Medicare is a journey. And to be honest with you, retirement is a journey. And so I am that person that when you come to me, I'm going to start you on the journey from day one. Because I know I get a lot of questions like, well, I don't know. Where do I start? Like, how do I've talked to this person. I talked to that person. I'm like, you don't have to talk to all these people.
Right.
If you just come to me from the beginning, then I have the timeline for you. When you tell me what your retirement goals are and what your retirement date is, I start you at the beginning of that journey, and I will be with you throughout that entire journey if you allow me to be. I will walk you through that. I will hold your hand. And that's why, to your point, you said you see me meeting with people more than once. I tell people, and I set the expectation up front, that we're going to meet several times, because it's just what it is.
Right.
Because depending on what your dates are and what your goals are, we're going to meet many times. So expect that. So until you say, no, I don't want your help anymore, I'm going to be right there with you from beginning to the end.
Yeah. So I kicked John out earlier, John Borges. Talk a little bit about John and some of the, he's pretty humble. I didn't
Yes.
realize that. He's not humble around me, but maybe he's camera shy. I don't know. Talk a little bit about what John kind of does, how it translates to what you do, and how you two work together.
So John's role is very important to what I do. I prefer that they've spoken to John first, because he really talks to them about their pension and what they're going to be receiving. And so how that translates into what I do, because when they come to me, I say, okay, what is the amount that you're going to be receiving every month with your pension? Because that also dictates, that could dictate what they're going to be paying in Medicare. And it also helps to shape what their monthly budget will be in
Right.
regards to how much they're going to be paying for health care, and again, some of them are concerned about that cost, if they have any illnesses, if their family members or spouses or children have any illnesses, medications, doctor's appointments, all of that dictates that. So they must go and see John first to find out what their pension is going to look like. Also, if they're going to be taking Social Security, because all that again shapes what their monthly budget is going to look like and what their finances are going to look like in retirement. That's very important. And
Right.
then I go to the second piece of what the cost will be.
Right.
Yes.
So for the layman, they're out there working every day and they've been working for many, many years and never really thought or planned about retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Just break it down and give me some definitions. Exactly, what is Part A? What is Part B?
Oh, great questions. So Part A is what everyone is paying for right now. If you're out there listening, in your check every 2 weeks, you see Medicare and Social Security. So when you see that Medicare piece, you are essentially paying for Part A, which covers your hospital benefits. So once you get to retirement, that part is paid for. If you have worked what they call 40 quarters, which is around about 10 years or so, give or take for right now, then when you get to retirement, you won't be paying for Part A. So it covers your hospital benefits. Now, Part B is going to cover your doctor's benefits. And there are a lot of things that fall kind of under that. But currently, Part B is what you're still paying for. You're paying for in retirement, that doctor's visits. But Part A and Part B make up what they call original Medicare. So for those of you out there that have a red, white, and blue card, you'll have Part A and Part B in retirement. But that only covers, Brian, 80% of your benefits. So that leaves you to need to kind of swoop up that other 20%. And that's really where I come in also, because I need to help you decide. There are two options. You can either have a Medicare supplement plan,
Right.
which is called Medigap, or you're going to have a Medicare Advantage plan, which is also called Part C. So I help with that also. But so most of you guys out there, like I said, are paying right now into Part A. Now we don't know what the future holds. But as of right now, and in the past, historically, Part A is what's being taken out of your check currently.
Okay. So what about someone, we'll use me for the example.
Okay.
John's already told me I'm working into my 100s before I can retire. And I'm sure you would probably get me at about 200 before I could go. My wife is younger than me.
Okay.
She's self-employed, so she does not have health benefits. So obviously I would know that I would need to cover that gap. But let's
Yes.
just say that my wife was younger than me and
Okay.
had robust medical coverage. How would that play along with Medicare, Medicaid, gap coverage, or anything like that?
So you're saying that she has coverage not through you, but individually?
Yeah, let's say that she's employed and she
Okay.
has health
Okay.
coverage. How would that work for me once I hit retirement age?
So great question. A couple of things. So if she has coverage through an employer also, and you're going to fall off and you're going to retire and fall off of American's coverage, you could either join her coverage and also enroll in Part A, because Part A will kind of be a secondary, if you will.
Right.
And again, this is going to depend on what the finances look like also. Or you could enroll in your Part A and enroll in your Part B and get an option 1 or option 2, which is Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage plan. But again, these type of conversations will kind of be based on your health, what your health looks
Mhm.
like when you're ready to retire. If you're seeing a lot of doctors, specialists, your medications and the cost. So all of that is going to dictate what that looks like. But you do have those options to either go with her or go ahead and just go full Medicare.
Yeah, and the reason I ask is because, to your point, we talked about it earlier, there's no single scenario. Now, while
Right.
two people may have something similar and the result may end up exactly the same,
Yes.
there's numerous different scenarios. And,
Yes.
You know, we have members that are married, their spouse is the same age.
Mm-hmm.
Some are older, some are younger. So that's why I asked that specific
That's a great
questions.
question. That's why I said there's just no one size fits all for any of this. I have a lot of colleagues that, will represent just one company. So they'll just represent United Healthcare, or they'll just represent, Humana, or even on the 401k side, they'll just be Fidelity, or they'll just be, Lincoln Financial, whatever the case may be. But there's just no one size fits all.
Right.
And I always say that I don't work for any of those companies. I work for the member. I work for you.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So there's no one program. So
Perfect. That's good to hear. That's
Yes.
good to hear. So you have a sheet in front of you. Obviously, you have some, and I know you know the content very well, but is there anything that I hadn't asked you that you'd like to talk about?
that's a great question. Just making sure that members know to start thinking about, when they're thinking about retirement, just come and have a conversation. A lot of the members that I help, they'll say, well, what do I owe you? Well, to have a conversation with me, there's no cost. Even for my assistance and my help, there's no cost. There's never any cost. What I'd like to see is, if you're thinking about retirement, come and have a conversation with me 6 months before. No later than, at least 3 months before. Because again, that timeline of Medicare. But 6 months will be great. Just come and see me ahead of time, and let's have a conversation. I have had several of your members that have come to me a year in advance.
Right.
And I just think that's amazing. That's wonderful, because that tells me that they're pre-planning. They're thinking about, their retirement goals. They're thinking about their health. They're thinking about their families. And I think that's amazing to do, to have the conversation. So therefore, we can kind of put a plan in place, so that you have an idea of what that looks like. So that, again, you can retire just with a calmness, with an
Right.
ease, and move into it.
Right. Well, I know you meet a lot of members here, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't have an office here, obviously, here at Local 513. So, how would our members get in touch with you proactively to reach out to you? Phone number, email. Give us
That's
some
a great
contact
question.
information.
So I'm usually here on Thursdays, but even when I'm not, I do meet members at their home, and out different places. And again, I have some members that are in different states that I've never met before. So I
Right.
speak with them over the phone. But I'm always available by phone. My number is 469-688-4624. My email is lavertfinancial@gmail.com. And then you can always call the hall here and schedule an appointment. John has my calendar. The ladies do also. And I also have a website, www.lavert Financial Services. And Lavert is LAV as in Victor, ERT, financialservices.com. But I'm almost available. So anytime anyone needs to get in touch with me.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
So, anything else? Other than, it's been great having you here. I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed this. And just in this conversation, I personally have already learned some things. A lot of times when you meet with our members, you meet, in here in the conference room or
do.
whatever. So I don't have the pleasure of sitting and listening to you talk, but it's really interesting.
Thank you. Thank you.
So anything else?
Well, no, I just want to continue to serve the members here. And again, with their Medicare, with their 401k decisions, at the heart of it, my goal is just to make sure that everyone is protected and prepared for retirement, so that they can move into that new journey and just be ready. So that's my goal.
I'm a little biased, but I think we got some pretty good members.
You have some amazing members.
Yes,
I
we
have
do.
met some amazing people, husbands and wives and single people, and and I've met with their families. Some I've met with their grandchildren, their children. That's another thing also. Sometimes that we have some members that may not be as understanding of kind of, they want to bring someone else with them so that they
Right.
can have a second ear. I'm all for that. I think that's amazing. They bring their children, again, like I said, their grandchildren. And I just think everyone needs to be involved as you move into retirement. It's a new season. And I feel that you should be able to enjoy that season without having to think and having the worries that maybe you've had all the years that you've worked, and you deserve that. And I want to be a part of that and making sure that you have a great retirement.
Right. Well, this has been great. I've really enjoyed this. Are you looking forward to the seminar on the 2nd?
I am. I'm looking forward to the seminar, and I'll also be at the picnic.
Oh,
I have a
great.
table at the picnic.
That's great. That'll be your first year with us at the picnic.
First year. I'm so excited.
I'll buy barbecue for you that day.
Yay. I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Leslie, it's been awesome having you here today.
It's been an honor. Thank you for having me again. I hope that I can come
Absolutely.
back one day.
Of course. Open invitation.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Leslie. So we're going to wrap up today for the TWU Local 513 podcast. 3 guests today, a lot of work. Hopefully you guys got some good information. We'll see you next time. I have really nothing else to say. It's been awesome. Thank you again, Leslie, for joining.
You.
Everybody have a great day.